Oh, there the Skype noise is gone. There we go. Now.
Now, where'd you go?
So Skype. Where did I go? Well, I'm right here.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. I still only see. Well, no. There we go. Wayne is recording the call. There we go. I was expecting the what's the thing you use? Zoom. That was it. I thought we were going to be using that.
Oh, Zoom. No, I haven't used Zoom in probably a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to pay for that. I'm not paying for that shit.
You have to pay for it? Oh, that's interesting.
There's a free one, and you can use it for 45 minutes. I never do anything for 45 minutes.
You never do anything for 45 minutes? Well, I mean, I could sleep for 45 minutes.
Sleep would be nice. What, are you letting your beard grow back in?
Until about a week or two before I fly, because I'm not overly... I'm not the most, how should we say, I'm a paranoid person, Wayne, you know that, and
Right.
When it comes to getting on the plane and or before the plane in the airport, I get extremely paranoid. So going through an airport with a fucking beard would just, made me lose it a little bit.
Yes, I would imagine so. Oh, Pepsi. I thought you usually drink Coke.
I am a man of sugar, Wayne Noon.
So it doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter whether it's Pepsi, Coke, Lucozade, whether I just got a bottle of water and poured a bag of sugar in that. It just doesn't matter as long as it has sugar in.
Well, good. That's what I like to hear, because I hate the whole Pepsi Coke thing.
Well, yeah, because they'll ask you, you say you want Coke. They say it's Pepsi. Okay, I say just bring me a damn sugary drink.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Here's the.
Oh, look at that! You finished them both. Is that you got to tell people what that is that are listening to this show, even if they download it? I don't know. Your 3D shoes. 3D printed shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I one day went through the 3D printing websites and was like, I am going to make a set of 3D printed shoes, so I never have to buy a pair of shoes again. And to say that it didn't end overly well is not really an understatement, but it's not really doing justice what happened. I printed them, I made them, it took a while, and then once I tried them out, went for a walk one day, went into town to go do some shopping, and I get back and I'm sort of thinking, okay, that's all well and good, they didn't hurt, but why is my sock wet? I take my sock off and I'm like, okay, there's red on my hands, that's a little bit worrying, and I noticed that one of them cut my ankle up really badly.
Oh, really?
And that's basically because on the inside of it, there's when you print things, it comes out sometimes stringy.
Right.
So as you can see,
right.
Like the edges there,
right,
they sort of string, and I never bothered sanding it because with flexible filament, it's very hard to do that.
Right. Yeah.
And that was rubbing against my ankle. I have a high pain threshold, which will say a lot considering the headaches that I have almost daily.
Right.
That'll say a lot for how much pain I'm actually in. But no, I have a high pain threshold, so I was walking and I had no idea that I was in pain until I sort of see how much blood had come out of my ankle.
So those shoes weren't really red before. They were what, white?
No. So the only red part of the shoes, is the tongue. Is the tongue, yeah. You got blue with the clear laces. I kind of wanted the laces to be yellow to go with my Superman colors, which I can't actually find my T-shirt around here.
What are the laces made out of?
Flexible filament. They're all. It's 100% TPU. Which is basically, when you've got the rubbery stuff on the sole of your shoes, that is TPU.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to make the whole thing out of that.
Nice. Now, what made you make it out of that stuff? I mean, it doesn't look very comfortable.
Basically, I honestly, I just one day thought I'm going to try this, and I looked for the softest material I could find.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's only either solid, regular filament. So commonly, that is, God, what is it? The name's PLA. So when I heard PLA, it's like some sort of acid-based plastic.
Right.
And I thought it was just short for plastic, as
right.
the common sense person would think when they see the first three letters of plastic. And so yeah, there's plastic, there's PLA, there's flexible filaments, there's like metal, wood, stuff like that, and then obviously there's TPU, which is a flexible filament. And I was like, all right, cool. I can get a budget one for about £15. That's about just over $20.
Right.
Or I can go all out. I can pay $50 for the real £50 for the really soft stuff. The really soft stuff. Now, I watched a video where a guy literally took his shoe that he made, he scrunched it up into a ball, and then that thing came back out into the proper shape. So when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, definitely going to do that. But me being me, I was going over in my head saying, £50 for one roll.
Yeah.
No, unless I can guarantee that I can sell stuff to make that money back. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll just stick with my £15 roll. Ended up getting three different colours, 3 different rolls, and eventually made that one pair of shoes. And the rest is history, because my ankle has healed up. I heal incredibly fast. Some say that I am like Wolverine, if Wolverine was real, because I do heal incredibly quickly. I mean, I got over a hernia surgery in 2015 when they told me it would be about a 4 to 6 week recovery. I did it in about 2 to 3.
Wow. You're amazing. You should change your name to the Amazing Harry Barnett.
I'm not touching that one, because someone else used to call themselves amazing, and let's just say rumors came out, and they're now they've disappeared. So
okay, you won't do that then.
I'll explain that one at a later date to you there, Wayne. But no, I heal incredibly quickly. Yeah, recovered from pneumonia 3 times as well.
Oh my God!
I like to think that I am immune to all known diseases now.
Well, there is a coronavirus, so we do have to try that one out.
I'll tell you the exact same thing I told every other person. This knife came with my 3D printer, and I had the second 3D printer, which I barely used because I don't know how to work it, because it is so incredibly budget.
Yeah.
It's just...
is that the one that you had to put together yourself?
Yes. But I haven't really put the effort into really trying it out. But the reason why I opened this knife was to demonstrate a point that when the coronavirus first became a thing, I joked with someone that, this is going to be how people turn into zombies. And I said, this part wasn't a joke. I said that if I see one single person bite someone, I'm going and buying a sword. That is not a joke. I live on the 3rd floor.
You saw somebody bite somebody already?
I've not seen anyone bite anyone. But I live on the 3rd floor. So I'm safe unless they run. And well, to say that I've been trained in some things, I would be able to make my way up even if the stairs weren't here. So I would be in complete safety. But yeah, if I have to get that sword, I will. I've been underestimated by the world way too many times that if this did happen, people probably wouldn't expect it, and I would have to do what I'd have to do.
Right, yeah. How was the coronavirus scare over there? Is it anybody saying anything about it? I don't really hear much about your area.
Coming from someone who actually works in a store, hand sanitizer, it has been out of stock for at least my memory's terrible. At least
Yeah,
all of this week,
that's
every other person is asking for hand sanitizer, and someone told me, oh, this is in all stores now. Like they've gone everywhere. Like everyone is just going for them, so they're gone.
yeah,
So with disease, a virus, anything like that is so. I mean, it's based on common sense.
right,
Basic hygiene, washing your hands like a normal human being.
pretty
That just shows you how dirty the world is. But
exactly.
the fact that we've come to this where people are posting on Twitter about how they're not going to shake hands with people, they're not going to come into contact, it's the world creating that divide and conquer thing.
Right.
It's that fear state where everyone has to be afraid of everything. Everyone has to believe what they're seeing. I mean, I think I heard that there's less deaths than the flu. It's like, this is the age we live in where you can say something on the internet, and if enough people catch on, people are going to just panic. So that's why I think that this sword story should go out. But no, people are talking about it as much here as they are everyone else.
Oh, they really? It's funny you bring up the hand sanitizer thing because my wife has been just fanatic about this whole coronavirus thing. Every day is a text message. Go to the store. We got to stock up on canned food. Go to the store. We got to get soap. We got to get hand sanitizer. She went to CVS. I don't know if you got CVS by you. It's a drugstore.
No, I know what it is.
You know what CVS is?
There was one up the road from the hotel that I've commonly stayed in when I've been in New Jersey, where it was literally a little bit of a walk up the hill, and then it was there.
Yeah. But my wife went there the other day to go pick something up, and then she noticed somebody else was buying soaps and hand sanitizers and all this stuff, and then they were sold out of them. So now my wife's freaking out that they're not going to have any soap anywhere. I'm like, will you relax?
I'll tell you, it won't act as like a basic soap, but as far as, sanitizer, killing germs, stuff like that, get a nail varnish remover, nail polish remover stuff. I use it a lot for cleaning my printer. It gets into my skin, and let's just put it this way, my hands are always smelling of it, but they feel very clean.
You just saying that, I can feel my hands now, just being so dry.
The thing is,
Harris got the driest hands ever.
You would think that going into a store, that someone who doesn't have painted nails would get judged worse for going in and buying nail varnish remover than he would going in and actually buying water. But every time I go into a store, I get more funny looks for buying water, like straight water, no flavour, no sugar or anything like that, for buying water than I do for buying nail varnish remover, because no one says a damn thing. No one at the time knew that this was to clean my printer. I'll get funny looks for buying water.
Well, probably because they're used to you buying Coke.
Exactly, Coke, Pepsi, Lucozade, anything with sugar. Like, I mean, if I could, I would quite literally buy a bag of sugar and, do the old Steve Austin, hit them together and hold them up.
Give me all hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So what have you been up to, Harry? I mean, you got the shoes going, you got the 3D printer. I hear it in the background.
Can you really?
Yeah, I can. I hear
even with this, I don't have my microphone anymore, considering I have now retired from podcasting. I don't have my microphone anymore. I sold it. So, considering that I don't have the technology anymore, I just have the microphone running off of my camera, because I wasn't going to get rid of the camera. It's something that obviously I can do other people's shows and things like that. So I was going to keep some sort of microphone camera sort of thing. And plus I want to do 3D printed videos again at some point. But the fact that can pick that up, and well, my printer used to be right next to my TV, so literally centimeters away from the microphone or the camera. And now it's at the other end of the room, and you can still hear it. It's incredible that you can hear it all that way over there.
It sounds like somebody's dialing a phone.
Yeah, it does sound like the old dial-up modem noise.
That's right, modem. Forgot about
that. But as far as what I'm doing, I mean, I take a lot of naps, eat a lot of pizza. There's ice cream in there somewhere. No, I've hit a, I've hit.
I started making my own ice cream, by the way.
Smart, smart. I mean, I saw you got one of them ice cream machines, but I'm not exactly a fan of one of them. I want the industrial proper ones that you have in a
No,
ice
I
cream
have
machine.
a KitchenAid mixer, and there's a attachment that you buy, and you put it in the freezer for like a day, and when you take it out, you put all the ingredients in there and you let it mix around, and then it hardens up and you throw it in the freezer.
Wayne, I'm not impressed. You literally all you need is a saucepan, an egg, some cream, and then it was egg, cream, sugar. Obviously, sugar can't go without sugar, and whatever sort of flavor you want to. I think I'm probably missing stuff. I'm not a cookery show.
Right.
I am an entertainer. It's what I do. But no, I remember there was a week. This was a good few years ago. I did this. Not many people would have seen this because I did this on my Facebook, just to sort of pop a handful of people. I was doing the Great Harry Barnett's kitchen, and I literally spent about 3 days making just ice cream. And I think I had my Facebook running while I was just making stuff on the fryer because for such a small person, most of my food is fried. So yeah,
Right.
immune to all diseases and immune to gaining weight. I've been the same size since I was about age 19.
Wow, lucky you.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll catch up on me one day, but I don't
One
see
day.
that day coming anytime soon. But
It hasn't by now.
exactly, and I'm 10 months away from being 30, so yeah, I still see it being a long, long, long time away. But and considering I never plan on dying, it'll
That's
be
good.
a long, long, long time away. Yeah, I
Yeah,
never ever
hopefully.
plan on dying, so it's something I see myself as more than what most people do. But to answer your original question, when what I'm doing right now, I'm in a transitionary period, and as you can see, my words are getting a little bit mumbled up. This comes with the damage to my brain that has
Right.
come in the past year. I think I did your show for the first time. This was a matter of weeks after I originally hit my head.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and obviously, I told you guys concussion, but it turned out that I've got something on the back of my brain called what's called a cavernoma.
Right.
Now, I could have had that since birth. I could have developed it at some point in my life. No, there's no way of telling.
Right.
But basically, I spent a tremendous amount of time shaming people who, in my place of work, happened to have changed the layout where I actually hit my head because I hit my head on a shelf.
Yeah.
And it turns out that that wasn't actually the cause of the bleed, the damage to my head. It was, in fact, what helped me find what was in my head. So,
Right. Yeah.
I'm hoping that that person never actually finds out because, I don't have the guy on social media, so he's never really going to find out, I'm sure. But I hope no one goes back and tells him, oh, he doesn't blame you anymore because, I'm not one to actually go back and say, I was wrong, I'm sorry, no, screw you. But yeah, basically a cavernoma, it's called a cavernoma, it's on the vision part of my brain. It's actually a rare genetic thing.
Mm.
So I think it's 0.5% of the population, of like a sample population, have it.
Wow.
Sometimes you can literally never know you've got it. Right?
Yeah.
For all you know, you could have it, someone else could have it. If you don't have symptoms, you're never going to know.
Right.
And I don't know what the statistics on symptomatic and non-symptomatic are, but like I have pretty much daily headaches, so I know about it.
Yeah.
But if I was to actually have it taken out, I could go blind. So
Might want to not do that.
yeah. So I have to rely on sunglasses, and I don't know where my sort of darkened glasses are, but they very much look like the sort of glasses Tony Stark would wear. But I have to rely on those because light really does mess with me. I can't go anywhere in light that's really much stronger than this without it eventually getting to me. And it's one of those things where you either let it get to you or you just sit there and laugh and carry on with your life. Because there's enough terrible things in this world, and you know, we all know of things that have happened in my recent past where it's like, you know, there's enough sadness. You just got to get on and have fun with it.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I'm just in this transitionary period, because I've gone from being, I'll always be an entertainer. I've gone from being a weekly podcaster, monthly podcaster, hosting someone else's show, doing all of these video shows, producing other people's stuff, working with all these other people, to not doing anything at all, to coming back into the spotlight, to, you know, not really seeing where my place in the world was. And then I found the 3D printing, and you know, what came as a impulse buy, hey, that could be cool, has actually turned into something that it's really calmed me down, because it's like, it's something I can do, I can make money off of. I can take a nap while it's printing, and then I can calm myself down tremendously while I paint. Because like, I am, have been, was, whatever pronoun you want to use, I have had a tremendous amount of anger in my life, and I'm an angry person. Some would say I'm real life Bruce Banner. But the painting side of this stuff, like the whole creation aspect of it, it's just calmed me down tremendously. Between that and the head injury is definitely just given me a not caring outlook on life. But I'm just at a point where it's like, hey, anything comes my way that I want to do, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm quite happily just sitting here, you know, painting, napping, pizza. And then there's all the Arrowverse stuff, which I started getting into about, four months ago. And I've managed to watch 10 years worth of 3, 4, 5 shows, however many they're on now. So, yeah, you know, nice little bubbled life I live, but, you know, I'm still keeping myself out there through the 3D printing and doing shows like these, doing shows like HIEC Talk Radio. There's a variety of them, but I'll always be out there. You know, it's what I do. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah, sure you are. What's the most favorite thing you've printed so far? I see all the things that you print, and you get excited about all these things. But what's your favorite one? What's one that you made? Maybe you're going to sell it, and then you changed your mind. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm actually looking around the room trying to think about that, because I got a candy machine. I absolutely love the candy machines, like you know, the sort of you twist them and then they sort of pour things. A gumball machine, basically. I absolutely love those. I've done a couple of Mjolnirs, Thor's hammer. Those I just sometimes, like a child, just pick up, throw them around, and I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm Thor. There's the Iron Man helmet, which I started, and then I got bored and was like, oh, I've got all these other cool things to do, so I want to do these, and I just let go of that. But then went back to it and finished it, and now it's sat on top of my shelf. There's that. When it comes to favourite, really, if I'm honest, it comes to original creations, and I can't put my finger on one particular one, but any original creation that I have done is definitely what I would describe as my favourite, because on my shelf, which I would grab, but I've only recently superglued them, and I don't want them to fall apart.
Good idea. All right.
I have two.
Take a picture, and I'll post it up here later.
I've already taken a picture, so on my Twitter I'll send it to you. But
right.
I took two pictures, a picture of two things not long ago. One is a Funko Pop of the Joker from the Joker movie, which Funko Pop has not released anything of. You know,
really?
They've got all these other Jokers. They've got the Mark Hamill Joker, the 80s Joker, the Cesar Romero, Jared Leto, animated, all of these other ones, but they don't have the Joker movie Joker. So I basically printed off a Dark Knight Joker, the Heath Ledger Joker, and because when you print off a blank, it's not got colour on,
All right.
So you will see Joker has obviously his hair, because the Heath Ledger one, if you remove all colour, looks very similar to the Joker one. So I was able to print the complete face paint or paint the face paint on top of it, and it not look like, okay, this is a Heath Ledger one painted like the Arthur Fleck one. So I was able to paint that up, and it looks completely original, even though it, at its best, is a Heath Ledger one.
Right.
And then the other one was my friend, indie wrestler Stan Styles in New Jersey. I've said to a small handful of people, oh, you know, do you want a pop? Or they've asked me for a pop. And his was the first original one, other than the Bray Wyatt one I made. Basically, I took his... I took a picture of him in his entrance gear, because he's a interesting guy. He's got a shake weight that he brings to the ring, and squirty cream. Yeah, he's definitely someone you want to look up. He's an interesting character. But yeah, so he's got accessories, and he's obviously got an interesting look. So you know, it was quite fun making his pop. And I've got a few various ones coming over the next few weeks before I obviously go away. But then there obviously comes the shoes, which were an original creation of mine. So really, it's you know, when it comes to making stuff, I wouldn't really describe myself as lazy, but I'm very happy just going onto a 3D printing site saying, I like that, I want that, printing it. But then there's no better feeling than than actually designing something and thinking, you know what, I'm going to make that. I'm going to make it from scratch. I'm going to print it, whether it's for myself, whether it's for someone else. There's no better feeling than doing that.
Yeah. That's kind of why I wanted to do the podcast and stuff, because I like creating things. I like, you know, editing videos and putting music to it and all that stuff. You know, that's you know, that makes. I'm just happy creating things. Like
no better feeling than creating something.
Exactly. That's why I play music too. You know, I feel like I always got to be doing something. You know, got to have some kind of hobby. You know,
some sort of outlet for the creativity, because yeah, just not having that creative outlet, just it doesn't feel right.
Right. I mean, I can sit there and play video games all day long, but that doesn't make me feel like I did anything, you know?
Oh, I would feel like I've done something, because I'm better than most people, so when it comes to video games, I could spend, I don't know, longer than however long they make fun of Jeff Lane for, but in that time I would have been able to finish the entire game, because I'm much better than most people. But then again, I haven't really touched my PlayStation since whenever that Star Wars game was out. So I want to say December. Yeah, November. I haven't touched my PlayStation since then. It's literally been an expensive media player.
Dust collector.
Well, I mean, it's been playing like Netflix, Amazon, Now TV, all of these different things. To watch my Flash and Arrow and things like that, like that's all it's been for. I mean, when I get the PlayStation 5, that'll be a different story, because there'll be plenty of things I want. Then you know, they'll obviously be releasing a ton of games, and if they don't, well, you know, it will just gather dust.
Yeah.
But
that thing's supposed to be compatible with all the other PlayStations, I heard, right?
Allegedly. I mean, in the era we live in, you know, so many things will get leaked out ahead of time, and then they'll end up being true. Right. But I seem to remember someone said that about the PS4, and then they just completely disregarded that and said, you know, it's not compatible with anything. So, yeah, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. I'm well aware that both words mean the same thing.
It wouldn't be a smart move, because now even, I don't know, did you get the Switch or no?
I got the Switch and had it for all of about 2 months and then sold it, because
sold it already.
There wasn't enough on there for me to keep it.
What?
I mean, I got what was the game that I wanted? The Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah.
I got it just for that, and then that game severely disappointed me, and I got very angry for several days just because of how I got the Switch just for that. Right. And you know, I got a handful of other games that I really liked. There was a Sonic game and a Mario game, but no, I was severely disappointed by the fact that the one game I wanted had
But that game's on every system, though, isn't it?
No, no,
Oh, it's not. It's only on the Switch.
Switch exclusive. The first
Oh,
one
really?
and the second one is on every system.
Oh,
Third, unless something's changed since I had the Switch, it's only a Switch game, and that made me so mad when it took a massive step down. It
right.
basically, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. That game is a lot like wrestling is now, where they've literally taken all of the substance out of it and they've just given you the basic what it is. It's a multiplayer or multi-character superhero game.
Right.
Okay, so you've literally got your option for 4 characters at once. You can change those characters out at any point. You can use powers. You got complete puzzles, and you get boss battles until the end of the game. It's a story-based game. Whereas the first two had a seriously cinematic feel to it. I mean, the first one, I think it was Doctor Doom was the bad guy. He stole Odin's powers. He became a god, and everyone had to team up to go and take him on. The second one followed the Civil War storyline, but both of them just were all in on the whole thing. They just had everything to it. This one was just, hey, we're just giving you a game here.
That's a shame. I never played any of those games, so I really don't know anything about them. But that sucks. I'm sorry. You're the first person I've ever heard that doesn't like the Switch.
I know. Whoa. No.
Or bought the Switch and sold it.
Yeah. I like the Switch. I love the concept of it. Right?
So why'd you get rid of it so fast? It's got so much more to go.
Because I am a tremendously impatient person, and I didn't want to have 2 consoles sitting here gathering dust. If it was just going to sit on my desk, it may as well have been sold and let someone else enjoy what I couldn't. Because I like the concept. It just there wasn't enough to justify me having it.
I guess I don't know.
I'm not a greedy person. I can't have more. Like all of these things, I'm not someone who's going to gather every console known to man just to have it sitting here.
Oh, you don't want to see this couch over here then, with all games sitting over there. My son, he loves the Switch, but he doesn't really know much about it. He's only 3 years old, so he doesn't really know too much about games. So he just likes to play his little kid games. But he was using mine so much. I saw somebody on Facebook in one of the groups I'm in. They were selling the handheld one, and it was way cheaper than to buy it in the store. So I said, I'm going to buy it. So I ended up buying that for him, and now he loves it. He loves playing with the little handheld one.
The light, the light one.
The light one.
Yeah, well, I mean the Switch concept is brilliant because I'm someone who. When I'm playing a game, I'll like to have something playing on the phone or TV in the background to where I can play it and then have something playing. So I like the concept of where I'd be able to have something on my TV while I'm playing a game on the Switch.
Right, yeah.
But there's just not enough for it.
They even put Resident Evil. I'm even thinking of, because I have them all, but they're all on other systems. Yeah. I'm thinking of downloading it on the Switch just so I can have the handheld versions. And there's a couple other games too that I'm very tempted to buy them.
I mean, I really wish that there was. Oh, LA Noire, that was it. I played that for a couple of days on that. But
I have that one for Xbox 360. I never finished it. It's a good game though.
It's brilliant. Oh yeah. It is really good. But no, there's just so many games out there that would be brilliant for the Switch. But yeah, it's like as long as I know, I could have just waited, say, a year, just left it to sit on the desk, and then be like, okay, cool. There's all these other things to play now, but no, I just couldn't do it. I'm way too impatient.
So, what is the last game you played? The Star Wars game?
It was either the Star Wars game or I carried on playing God of War because I've got through God of War, the most recent God of War, very quickly.
Really?
Yeah, it's what I do. I get through things literally like that.
I was playing that thing, and I was so into it, playing with it, but it just things happen, and I lost interest in. Not I didn't lose interest, but it's just I can't get back into it again. I got to the part where you go on this boat and you go all around these little I don't know what the hell it was, but the boat part.
I think there were many boat parts.
Oh, the
I'm really
first.
hoping. I was going to say, I'm really hoping you're not very early on because you've got a hell of a lot ahead of you. If you,
A friend of mine said that I'm very early on.
okay, that upsets me, Wayne. But no, it was really good because I had played a little bit of the other God of War games, and they just didn't feel enough for me because they really did just feel like, okay, go in. Bash the crap out of these few guys in front of me, and then move on to the next bit to do the same thing.
Right.
Whereas this was my sort of game because it was cinematic driven. You're being driven by the story. If anything, you're more invested in the story than you are the game, which a lot of games feel that way now.
Right,
a lot of them feel that way, and that's always been my storytelling kind of thing is, if you're more invested in the story than you are whatever you're actually doing, so movie, game, whatever, then yeah, that's what's for me. Right. So to have that on such a game that I didn't really want to give the time that I gave to, and then I really got into it once I spent enough time, and I think about 3 days later I was finished. But I'm prolific for not touching the side stuff. Right. I will hardly ever go back and do the side stuff. So I think after I finished the Star Wars game, I went back to God of War, and I think I tried some of the side stuff, which I got a bit bored of.
Yeah. That's probably why it takes me so long to get, because I do the side stuff sometimes, and then I get involved with doing the side stuff, and then I forget about the main game.
The most time I spent on that game, I think, was I would stop doing whatever I was doing. If I was in a nice location, so on top of a mountain or something like that, I would take that axe, because this was very reminiscent of Thor. I'd take the axe that he has where he can throw it and then call it back to him. I'd throw the axe like really far. Yeah. Go about my business, go carry on fighting or doing something like that, and then just wait, and he'd reach out his arm to call it back like Thor would. Absolutely love that, and I hope to God when that Avengers game comes out in September that they've stolen that concept.
Oh wow! Is that going to be just a fighting game, or is that just like a game, a role playing game?
Feels like a bit of both. It does feel like it's a bit of both because it feels like, again, one of these games where it's story driven. It's got this big story like they. It looks like, the Avengers are split up, bad things happen and they've gone their own separate ways. It very much feels like, they come back together to fight this, whatever this menace is now. So It does feel a little bit of both, but, I think they delayed it to make things better, so, yeah, I'm optimistic, but, hey, there's a lot of other things that have been delayed for no good reason. They claim it's for making things better. So, I'm that little bit worried, but also a little bit optimistic.
I wish they would delay the WWE games. You played the last one, right?
That was the last game that I got for free. And because that's the one downside of not doing a podcast anymore is I can't con game places into sending me free stuff. Although, for full disclosure here, I was telling 2K for about 3-4 years that I was still hosting a certain someone's show and they were sending me free games. So thanks, pal. That's the only upside of working for someone that I don't want to talk about anymore. But, the downside of not doing a podcast is I can't get free stuff anymore. But I got that game for free and I spent minutes on it. And when I say
almost do the podcast for the games. I mean, you don't have to stop doing it. Just do it for games.
Wayne, the only reason I ever came back was out of spite. So I don't want to associate with that part of my life anymore. I love doing other people's shows. The fact that you said to me we'd do this. I've been on HIAC twice in the last 2-3 weeks. Beyond Bushido, a couple of others. I love doing the guest spot because I can go on to someone else's show who may not necessarily have heard of me. I can give them my shtick and I can have them in hysterics because they don't know what's coming. I can have people who know me, who've known me for 10, 15 years, in hysterics because they don't know what to expect. They know I'm going to do my shtick, but they don't know what to expect. You know, whereas if I was running a podcast, I'm sat here, you know, editing, putting stuff out. My heart's not completely in it because I'm like, I just want to put this out for people to listen to. You know, if they hear this that I didn't mean to say, oh, I don't care, sort of thing. It just takes away from time I can be having fun doing other things. So
I get it. There's been times I wanted to end this thing too, but you know what? I actually enjoy doing it. You know, when we do get together, so I don't want to end it completely. Not yet. Soon.
A time will come where you know where it's not fun anymore, and then that's where you got to ask yourself. Until then, you just keep doing what you're doing because you know that took me. I want to say 10 years. I think this would have been my 10th year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think I started on... Did you ever hear of Who's Slamming Who?
No.
Okay, it had, you know, that guy, it had Cornette, Jerry Jarrett, Cena's dad, a bunch of other people. Basically, a guy called Tommy Fierro had gone and got these... collection of names, people who had done something, and I befriended him after listening to these things for a while, and eventually gave me the opportunity for 4 weeks to do a show. And yeah, I want to say that was 2010 because I started the job that I'm at now in 2011, and I think it was the year before I started there. So yeah, this would have been my 10th year. Wow. So the fact that I'm just going to count it as 10 years because, I mean, there was years where I didn't do it, but I was appearing on other people's shows. There was years where I didn't do it because I just couldn't be bothered, and then there was years where I was doing it. So I've been doing this thing for 10 years. 10 years is a long time.
It is.
Back when I first started doing it, not everyone had a podcast. Now, like, you know, you look on Twitter... The wrestling news, this guy podcast.
Everywhere. Yeah.
I watch Raw and SmackDown and NXT and AEW every week podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone has a podcast, and I'm not entirely sure that 90% of them even know why they do.
Right.
You know, you have a show, you know why you do it, you love doing it. I had a show. I did it again out of spite, but my good reasons was the fact that, hey, I enjoy having fun with my friends. I enjoy getting people who, you know, a Wayne Noon may not necessarily know someone that I know. So, hey, here's this guy. You know, one of my friends may not know who you are. So here's Wayne. It's my way of getting not only having fun with the person I'm doing the show with, but it's also, you know, a way of getting that person out there as well. So, I don't remember my train of thought, but the fact is, like, in 10 years, it's kind of like, you know, it's gone from a time where no one really did it, and it was that chance to stand out, to now it's like, okay, more and more people are entering this realm, and they don't know why, I don't know why, but, you know, there's not a place for me to do this anymore. I mean, you know, with hundreds of thousands of podcasts, more podcasts than people to listen to, it's kind of saying, hey, take a step aside, do something else that is fun, and leave this to have someone who doesn't know why they're doing it, discover why they're doing it, or they can walk away just like I did. And eventually maybe that this landscape will clear up, and hey, if I want to do this again, and I don't remember how many years since I quit the first time, but 3, 4, I don't know. But yeah, maybe I'll come back in a few years. No one knows the future. I mean, I like to make people think I'm omnipotent, but like, I can't see the future. Right? For all we know, there might be a crisis on Infinite Earths tomorrow, and the sky might turn red. But or Thanos might click his fingers, but who really knows what the future will hold? So I can't say, hey, I'll never do this again. I mean, I did say that there was only one way I was going to do it again, and that's if I get one of the reverse flashes to be on
No luck
show.
yet, huh?
I mean, I haven't exactly been trying. I mean, your tweet didn't work. My Instagram post to not the same one that we did talk to, but the other one, the one that plays Harrison Wells, he didn't answer. So like, you know, it's not exactly something I'm going to push for, but it's one of those things where, hey, if I wrote something to him one day and he was like, yeah, I'll do your show, cool, then we've got a show, but I'll come back. But until then, it's kind of like, hey, I'm enjoying napping, I'm enjoying watching Pop's print. You know, I'm enjoying the fact that Pizza Hut has a £5 medium collection. Did you say that you like Pizza Hut, or did you turn your nose up at Pizza Hut?
I eat it from time to time, but it's not pizza. How's the pizza in Jersey? I mean, you've been to Jersey. How do you like the pizza in Jersey compared to Pizza Hut?
It was alright. I mean, it was better than that trash that the world calls Papa John's. Because
oh my God,
you're against Papa John's as well?
Yeah, I've had that once, and it wasn't. Doesn't look like the commercial. Doesn't taste as good as it looks on the commercial.
I mean, you know where they're based?
No. No.
Okay. Well, tie that into someone I don't like, and then you'll know where they're based. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I'm boycotting Papa John's. But plus, my pizza turned up, it wasn't hot enough one day, so I got very mad. Fun fact, by the way, this was when I ordered from Domino's once before. I actually ordered the wrong pizza and questioned why, because it turned up and I ordered a pepperoni and it came to my house as a vegetable, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. This was not long after the head injury, so I was in a severe panic, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. Why do I have a vegetarian pizza when I ordered a pepperoni? I look on the menu and it's the next one down, so I don't know if I scrolled down by accident or if I pressed the wrong thing, but I looked on my receipt on my email and it said vegetarian, so someone wasn't paying attention.
I do that all the time at when I go to the grocery store. I'll get cold cuts, and then I'll use the machine because I can't stay waiting on the line, and then I'll pick something. But I usually, what my wife wants, I always end up hitting the wrong button because it's always like one off from where I touch, the touch screen or whatever. Yeah. So I get home and she sees it. I don't eat this. Too bad you're eating it now. So what did you think of that 2K game? Since we got completely off of that subject somehow.
Oh, I change the subject all the time. That's what I do.
I never played it. It's the only WWE game I have not played.
Well, see, I've played it twice, both for a couple of minutes. The first time I played it, it was full of bugs. I think this was release date or the day before release date, and it was full of bugs. It was awful. I understood. They usually
are. Every time 2K comes out with a game, it's full of bugs for about 3-4 months.
It's why they should sell it to someone else. Either that or, hey, give them one last chance, let them take a year out, like Assassin's Creed usually does. Assassin's Creed does not do yearly games anymore. They will do every other year.
Right.
There's no way why anyone should do a yearly game, because it's like, give them more time. Right. They will put more effort into it. But, yeah, so, hey, it was an improvement from the last one. They all are. But when it comes down to it, at this point, all WWE games are the same. They're just like a typical sports game. They are literally just changing the roster. That's all they're changing. Roster, championships, arenas, interchangeable parts of the concept. The game itself is the same thing. Oh, we got new moves. Oh, Sami Zayn has a new entrance. Oh,
and it's always outdated anyway by the time you get it.
Mm-hmm. Because they have like a cut-off point, which they say, oh no, we don't have a cut-off point. It takes time to do this thing. You have a cut-off point, and I'm pretty sure it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania or shortly after. But if you look at it, there are so many things, and this is why I hope that AEW or someone else does another game, because I know there's obviously Fire Pro, which Catbox introduced me to. There was that $5 wrestling, which was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
But
there is another one coming out, and I can't remember the hell the name of it.
Retromania,
yes, thank you.
Because obviously that's got like Stevie Richards and
yes. That I'm definitely going to pick up. That's going to be.
But I think I saw there's another one coming as well that people have just been getting signed to, so that's obviously coming at some point in the near future. But it's like, when you do something year after year after year for what, it must be about 25 years now, when you're releasing a game that, at the beginning they were building up bit by bit by bit. It was like, all right, we've got this WWE SmackDown game, all right, very basic. Technology for the PlayStation was very basic. Builds up to PlayStation 2. Okay, we can do more. You know, builds up to PlayStation 3, even more. Graphics are amazing. Everyone looks so real, you know. And then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, technology is not going to get any better. It's like graphics can only be so good.
Right.
You know, what you're going to have virtual reality? You're actually going to be taking the bumps as guys. So it's like you can only get to a certain point, and it's like, well, what now? Like, how much better can you get? Like, you're gonna start doing these match types that you didn't have. So Punjabi Prison, Inferno match, stuff that you won't see anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to go and do things you're not going to do, what's the point? Because, hey, every game has a creation suite. You can create all of these new characters. Oh, no, they won't have their music. And?
Yeah.
So it's like, unless you really are going to change something, what's the point? Yeah, you're still going to, I guess, they're still going to make a tremendous amount of money, but eventually that money's going to dry up because, you know, less and less people are going to buy the game. I hear this new game was the worst selling one.
Yeah, it was.
/ people getting these refunds.
Yeah. I was going to actually buy it because a couple months ago it was down to $20. And I was still seeing bad reviews about it. I was like, forget it. I'm not even going to bother.
You saying that, I think I've seen it a lot cheaper. We have a store over here that basically you can trade stuff in, similar to GameStop, where they'll give you cash and stuff like that, and they'll resell your stuff on. And I think I saw it for a lot less.
Really?
2K20. Yeah, so over here it is £9.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's about, what, $10 or $11, I think. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's...
I'm waiting for the free one to come up. It'll come up eventually.
I'm surprised they didn't just make this free for all, because it was like, okay, you know, you get to a point where so many people are complaining, just cut your losses, make it free for all, even if it's just for a certain amount of time, and then don't sell anymore because you're giving them a broken game. I believe someone even spoke out and said, hey, they were just cutting money from the budget, saying, you know, just give them this unfinished game, give us a not good game, and it's like, you know, people are going to kick off.
Right, yeah. That's what happened. I don't know. Did you ever play the Friday the 13th game?
Yes, loved it.
Yeah, it is. They're still going. People still playing that thing. But when that first came out, it was unplayable. It was like a 2K game. You couldn't play it at all. You couldn't do anything.
Didn't actually make it?
It's possible they had their hand in it. But I remember I was going to play it and it wouldn't work. And that's the first game I ever returned. First digital game I've ever returned because it wouldn't play. And I rebought it. Oh no. I ended up rebuying it though. Like after I saw people started to being able to play it, then I rebought it. But that game is a good game.
I tell you, when it comes to digitally rebuying something, you know, this is the only app where I've questioned why I bought it, but then I bought it back because I was just like, you know, I'm a child when it comes down to it. I will do the most ridiculous of things to entertain myself. Do you remember a few years ago when he was in TNA, you know, Eli Drake?
Yes, yeah.
He obviously had the dummy button, and he released that as an app, and I think it was like $1, something like that.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and I was like, dummy, yeah. I was like, oh, this is boring. Got a refund from that.
Yeah.
Only to buy it back again when I was bored one day. I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy that dummy button thing again. And I think I bought and refunded it several times before I think I still have it now. But it was like, it was one of those things where I've never actually digitally returned anything until, and apart from in that situation. But yeah, I got that back, and yeah, now when I'm bored, which isn't actually all that often now. I think the only time I ever get bored anymore is at work, in which case I usually do something stupid to entertain myself. But no, I got that back just in case I ever got bored.
Interesting. I might have to look that up and use it at work because I can use it a lot. You mentioned 3D virtual reality before. Have you ever tried the virtual reality games?
I had the PlayStation VR, and I think the only one I had two. I had the Batman VR, and I tried downloading the Spider-Man VR, which was free. But the Spider-Man VR insisted on you having, those sticks, the VR sticks.
Yeah.
And it wanted me to have two. I was like, no. I'm not buying two of them.
Yeah.
You'll work with one or you'll not work at all.
Right.
And it wouldn't work with one, so I returned the stick and I played the Batman VR game, which was incredibly short. That was the only letdown of that, was that it was incredibly short, and I was not happy about how short it was. Other than that, I absolutely loved that game.
Really?
Absolutely loved that game. It was brilliant, and I managed to sell, because the store that lets you trade stuff in, it's called CEX. They wouldn't take it because it wasn't UK based, even though I bought it over here. I think I bought it on Amazon, but yeah, they wouldn't take it, so I sold it on eBay for, I think it was about $4 or £5 more than I paid for it. So hey, my loss is also my gain.
It worked out for you.
Also, just before I forget as well, because we were talking about the coronavirus early on, and I have a terrible habit of having to play with something while I talk. I have a tape measure in my hands, and I have a really funny obsession now to when if I hear or see someone coughing, I will make them stand at least 30 feet away.
So now you measure it.
Well, I've been looking at my tape measure recently, and my tape measure only goes up to 16 feet, and that's quite a way. I'm like, 16 feet's a lot. I feel bad almost for making people stand 30 feet away.
Might be better off, though.
Oh, 30
feet sounds good.
Even though I'm immune to all known diseases.
There you go. The only game... Oh, what the hell? The last game I played on virtual reality was Doom. Made me sick as a dog.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me you got sick.
Yeah. Resident Evil 6 made me sick as a dog.
Maybe virtual reality isn't for you, Wayne.
I don't know. I guess maybe not those kind of games. I don't know. Because I played a couple of them, and that was fine. Just for some reason, I guess the third-person games just make me sick. Yeah. And people say to use some kind of... like ginger gum or some bullshit, and I'm not going through all that just to play a game. I was going to
say, effort for just sit there and play a
game. No. If I can't sit there and just play it, I don't want to bother with it. Exactly. Maybe I'll shorten the play out, and it'll take me 8 years to play, finish one game.
That's a long time just for one game.
It is a long time. Well, the rate I go, I have tons of games in my living room that I've bought, even like at yard sales and stuff like that, and I haven't even played. Like I showed you my couch earlier. There's games on that couch over there that I have not touched.
Well, I mean, some things that you buy in life, Wayne, are really just for show.
Well, that's all the stuff behind me. It's all for show.
I think I've questioned in the past as to whether that's a real background as well.
Yeah, it is. That's been a long time collecting.
Yeah. Like Russo with his albums.
Right, yeah, Russo and his albums. Which I tried to get him on the show, but we just can't ever figure out a day to come on. He's only available on Thursdays, and I am too, but I have my son, so I can't really do Thursdays.
Well, I mean, he does have 600 podcasts. So.
I know, and now he just made a bunch of more, so it is what it is. I got more guests and other things to do.
I mean,
My show is not a wrestling show anyway, so.
I like Russo, but like I don't know how anyone can do that many shows. I know he makes money from it, which is obviously the goal with this thing. But
Right.
like, I don't know how anyone can do that many podcasts. I hate doing like one, let alone that many.
Right. Well, he don't edit nothing, right? He just sends it all to Jeff, and Jeff does all the work.
Yeah, but still, like it's fun sitting here talking with you, but like, even just taking it. Let's say I was running this. Taking that and having to go and take it from one place, put it to another, it's like effort. Like that's why you need a Jeff.
Yeah.
But you can clearly see the laziness in me is there.
Well, if you're retired, you would probably understand. He doesn't do anything else. What does he do? I would probably do the same thing. I would do it. I love doing these things. I just can't do them on my own because I'm terrible by myself.
I mean, I need someone to react off of me because,
right.
When I first started doing it, I obviously did it on my own on Who's Slamming Who. Yeah. And back then that was really before I was able to get my personality through on this thing to where, I would know, okay, now I can say it funny. Now I can really stand out by saying something ridiculous. And, like, this really was so early on that, yeah, it was hard to do it by myself. Now, I would be able to do it myself, but I would be limited on time because it would be like, okay, cool. So I can go about 20 minutes just saying ridiculous stuff. But if I don't have someone to react off of me, then, yeah, it really is 20 minutes because I can turn this. You can say something, and then I can go for about 20, 30 minutes just on nothing. But I can make nothing sound entertaining. But
I wish I could do that.
But it's just 100% bullshitting. That's the thing. Like, just going 20 minutes on bullshitting. If you listen to HIAC that I was on the other day, there was so many times where I would just be rambling on about nothing. But like that was the point. Like I was doing that just to be funny. Or like that would be the brain damage kind of taking me off of track and yeah, sending me in all kinds of different directions. And but no, I would not. What are you
putting together there? What are you gluing?
It's not gluing, it's a paint pen, which I very much love doing now. It's a stop sign from my dear friend Jimmy Lyon, who has actually been a very big how should we say, detractor of the shoes to where I have told him, because he wrestles barefoot. He's also a deathmatch guy, so, that makes wrestling barefoot a lot worse.
Yeah.
I've told him I'm going to stamp on his feet with the shoes because of him putting the shoes down. And, he's worried, but he's also got it coming because yeah, he shouldn't have doubted me. One thing you got to learn in life, Wayne Min, is never to doubt me because with me, I always somehow prove people wrong. Yeah. Somehow. And I think that looks clear enough now. I've only just recently redone that red because the paint pen nib is very thick on these and it doesn't fit in between the letters. Right. So I did the red with the paint pen and it didn't get everything, so I had to just regular paint it. But yeah, I can go on and on and on about nothing for 10 minutes or 20 minutes is what I do.
I know. What did you think about Bushido when you were on there a few weeks ago?
I'm still not sure what to think. This is the thing. Like I said at the end of it, I was like, "How do you feel?" I was like, "I don't know anymore." They got a fun little concept, like having a watch-along show like that. That's really is fun because, again, that's something that goes off with how I work is reactive. Right. Like you've got something on the screen, something which again that sort of that Japanese fighting style. It's not really something that I understand because wrestling, combat sports, anything like that. I'm more the entertainment side than the sort of the sports side. So, I didn't really know how to handle it. But yeah, no, they've got something entertaining there, and yeah, I had a great deal of fun on that show, as you well saw.
Yeah, yes, I saw. I had both of them on my show last week.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did see.
No, you did not see it because it hasn't aired yet.
No, because I swear you tagged them on.
No, Eric was on one of my other shows that I do.
Okay, maybe
that was probably it. Yeah, I do another show with a guitarist. But yeah, I invited them both on to my other show, the one that we put two albums together. The Battle
album.
Yeah, album versus album. And you have to watch it.
I pay attention. I pay attention.
All right. You have to watch it. It just Eric he had to go and help somebody move, and he had to do it in the middle of the show.
Did you pick him up over there?
No, I guess one of his manager is, I guess, moving out of his house or something. So last minute he asked him to help, and the whole show was all about him helping his friend move. You have to watch it. It was terrible. It was funny but terrible. Usually I like to edit a couple things in and out of shows, but there's no way I can edit anything out of that show because I don't even know where to start.
yeah, it's kind of just the craziness of it all, and kind of I get you. Like that's probably one of the few things I miss about my certain stint of running someone else's show was just the sort of, I like to be unexpected with what I do, but like when you've got the real surprise aspect to what someone's doing, and it's like you really don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Then that makes it fun as someone who's actually running the show.
Right.
Which is something I prefer to be, where like you don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was hilarious.
That's yeah. That sounds brilliant.
I could always count on him, doing something stupid. So it's fun. All right. So are we ever going to see the last two episodes of your show, or what? Or are you just not even going to bother?
Well, the first one was recorded, but I felt like it was way too bitter. Like, again, I've said this at least 6 times today. Yeah. I only started doing podcasts again out of spite.
Right.
I would do them again, and then I'd have fun with various shows, but the whole point of it was spite.
Yeah.
So to say that a lot of stuff got brought up on that, and then I was like, you know what? It's been 2 years. This stuff, there's no point anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I deleted that one, and then I think the final one, what I had planned was like I was going to explain the fact that hey, this has all been out of spite. Hey, I had fun. All these different shows that I did, movie reviews with people, the AEW review with you. Still haven't watched a single AEW episode.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Haven't watched a single episode since, and I'm probably not going to because I very much enjoy sleeping on a Wednesday. But yeah, I was basically going to explain it. Retiring again. And he came back to trash people because of shit they did to me.
Yeah.
There's nothing here for me. I'm enjoying doing the 3D printing videos. I'll keep doing those, but podcasts are done. And then because of the fact that, hey, Crisis on Infinite Earths had not long happened, and just before Endgame, I did a video where I was going to give spoilers, and then I got snapped out of existence. I was going to have an antimatter wave take me out, and then you'd never see me do a podcast again until the next time there was a crisis or something stupid that gave me a reason to do something funny like that. But no one is going to see those final 2 episodes because I like to think that I have the ability to transcend entertainment, and that no one can cancel me. I can stop doing things, but no one can cancel me. I often dare people to try because no one's gonna stop me.
No.
There's a reason I have several T-shirts that say the symbol of greatness or the Great Harry Barnett or something like that, because I am more than what most people are, and the only person who can stop me is me, and well, that's exactly what I've done, because I wasn't enjoying doing this anymore, and well, that just meant that I want to say 2 hours that episode was wasted. Hey, time gets wasted. I wasted a year on something, and it's time you won't get back. Our time on this planet is limited.
Exactly.
And, well, sometimes you waste time. Get over it. But yeah, I didn't record the other episode. It will just remain a question mark in people's heads, or a forgotten memory in mine, because, well, until you asked me that question, I forgot that I was even going to do those 2 episodes.
Son of a bitch.
This is the beautiful thing about my memory, though, is I can tell you literally, long term, my memory is almost perfect. I can tell you every single in-person meeting with every single person I've met.
Yeah.
Literally every single person I've met. But I can't tell you what I've done most of this week.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my short-term memory is just completely gone, but my long-term memory is pretty much perfect.
You're breathing too many fumes in with the 3D printing.
Again, it's an enclosed... and I remember telling you that. You this.
See, I'm just as bad as you. But I have long-term.
I remember telling you this literally word for word. That it is an enclosed printer. And the fact that it's over there now makes, not much difference, because there's a door on it and the door is always closed.
Unbelievable. Selling me out my own show. Thanks, Harry. All right.
That's what I do. I steal thunder. I get myself over at everyone else's expense. When Dan, the host of HIC Talk Radio, went to introduce me the other day, I cut him off and I introduced myself as someone else. Yeah, and then I pretended Dan wasn't there. It's what I do. I make myself the most important thing in this room, because unless you look around this room and see the 3D printed figures, I am the most important figure in this room.
Did you make yourself? Did you finally do it?
Not yet. I think I posted a screenshot of the pop that I was going to do, where I said I used a famous quote from. You have to forgive me, I don't remember the actor's name, but the original actor of War Machine, where I put the quote up saying, "Maybe next time," and it was a pop of me with the glasses, the hat, and the ripped off Superman logo.
Ah, okay. Cool. Send me a picture. I have to see it.
I'll have to search through my timeline on Twitter, because, that's a really hard job by my tone of voice.
I'm sure I've seen it. Don't send it to me. I don't care. All right.
Reverse psychology is a terrible thing. And then, I'll send it to you, and then I probably won't, because, well, give it about 3 minutes, 2 minutes, however long once we've done this, I probably won't remember.
I'm just going to say you're going to forget anyway. So
I won't remember in 2 minutes, but probably in about 2 years I'll be like, oh crap, I was meant to send that to me. But, yeah, it's out there. It's out there.
All right. Well, I enjoyed talking to you. We've got to get you on the regular show doing something. I keep saying that 1,000 times. I just can't think of what to have you on to do.
Well, Wayne, I like to... Well, I like to quote my Twitter bio in saying that I'm a clown. I'm but a clown without makeup.
You are.
Just look at me. I don't have the green hair. I don't have the face paint. But I am a clown. Don't get that confused in any shape or form. I am a clown. It's what I do. I was born to be like this. I may be in a male human body, but I am a clown. And the fact of the matter is, I am out there. Whether it's your show, whether it's HIC Talk Radio, Beyond Bushido, almost couldn't say those words then, because if sometimes the English language doesn't come out of my mouth, and an amalgamation of every single language known to man tends to come into my mouth.
You probably like having things come in your mouth too, don't you?
Wayne, at this point, like, just
Show's over.
my brain's not functioning. I mean, I was trying to tell people how, you know, if they have a podcast much like yours or any of these other fine shows that I promote today, you know, they can have me on that show. You know, they can easily find me at social media at the Great HB or TGHB3D. Both platforms can be found on all good social media, and they can use that to book me or to buy something 3D printed.
That's
and
right.
Of course, if these people find people in New Jersey, Philadelphia, they should come to the H2O Wrestle Center in Williamstown, New Jersey on WrestleMania weekend and come watch some good shows. It's 3 days of shows, which I'll be there for all of them.
Oh, really?
And, you know, I'm great at promotion. I think that's all I have to say. I don't know. If I've forgotten anything, it's probably not important. Well, it is, because everything I say is important.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, not enough time to sleep, but hey, I still sleep like 12, 13 hours a day. Medication.
Are you scared to fly now with this coronavirus?
I was scared.
I mean, you only got a couple more weeks, so I mean, I know you're always scared, but I mean, with this added, you know, the sickness now.
Wayne, I'm going to tell you this, and this is 100% me. This is not just me playing this up for a podcast. I am 100% immune to all diseases. I don't get sick. No, I'm not scared.
Say
of
that
getting
now.
sick. I'm not scared of getting sick. I've faced death and near death enough times that I don't get fazed by getting sick. I'm hoping that I don't get sick because I don't want to be refused to fly or refused entry or anything like that. I honestly don't care if I get sick because I've been sick so many times in the past that it doesn't do anything to me. The only thing that has wellness-wise done anything to me is the head injury. Sick doesn't affect me. I've broken things before and it's done nothing to me. Like, yeah, it hurts, but you know, I get through it like that. Like I said, the hernia, it did nothing to me. Like, yeah, while I was waiting before I had the surgery, that hurt like hell. Right. After the surgery, like I am more. This is not like a gimmick, messing around. I am more than most people. This is what gets me through life. This is what gives me a ridiculously pointless ego because I can survive most things that others can't. And yeah, that is asking for trouble saying something like that. But hey,
I'll keep my eye on the news. Make sure there's no flights that went down.
Well, I mean, hey, as long as that flight gets me there and gets me back, like I'm flying while WrestleMania's on.
Although the way you are, you'll probably just bounce right out of the plane. I'm all right. I'm fine.
yeah, you know, just I'll walk it off. But no,
the only survivor.
yeah. But I'm flying back while WrestleMania's on, so.
Oh really? Oh, so you're gonna miss it.
I'm not overly fussed.
Although they're talking that they might not do it. I don't know what's going on with that. They're all afraid now.
They're gonna do it.
They're gonna do it, but I don't know where because now it's in Florida and there's a whole bunch of shit going on in Florida. So now it's kind of everything's up in the air.
I find it very hard to believe that they would actually cancel it or move it. Like, look back in the past. Look at all the things that they cancelled. They cancelled Raw because of I think it was because of Benoit. They cancelled. They've never cancelled a pay-per-view, as far as I know.
Not yet.
Like, actually, like, not ahead of time saying, okay, you know, we've got 24 pay-per-views, we're going to cut it down to 23. They've never cancelled a pay-per-view, say, the next pay-per-view. So, no, they're not going to cancel it. And I would bet as much money on that as I would that. No, I'm not going to go there. No, I would bet a lot of money on that they're not going to cancel it. But hey, who knows what the future holds? They could cancel it. It could be a disaster, and this could be the apocalypse that everyone's been waiting for. Who really knows?
Can only hope so. Well, it was good talking to you, Harry. It's been a while.
Wayne, it's always fun, and well, I think I've run out of things to play with at this point, so here's a tube of soda.
Awesome. All right, Harry. We will talk soon. Everybody,
we will.
Please go talk to Harry on his Twitters and Facebooks and buy a 3D printed object from Harry, please. You can pretty much do anything, right?
And I can do anything, you know. Sitting here right now, I have. I don't entirely know whose pop I've got because, like, I've discussed with various people about doing pops for them personally. But I'm currently running a pop of whoever I'm running for the next 34 hours and 17 minutes because I've got the top quality ones going, and I'm about to watch Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, which is very much distorted by the light in my camera. But yeah.
I could see it, though. Yeah.
But yeah.
I could do without that show. But you have fun watching it.
I appreciate that, Wayne Noon, and you know, you have fun with your background of albums and games that probably aren't even there.
No, they're there. All right. Go to my website, ratsaladreview.com, buy a goddamn shirt, and subscribe to all our shows. And don't subscribe to anything to Harry's because Harry has nothing anymore. Just buy some 3D printed items. All right. See you guys next week. What is that?
Paint pen.
Oh, another one. What is that?
Yeah.
Gold?
Gold. I have 6, 9, 12, 15 of them.
All right, I'm ending this show. Goodbye.